What episode is this? 8?
8. Yes.
Oh, my favorite number.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, very convenient.
Episode
Give me a
8.
little test.
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 1, 2.
Test.
Is
Yellow.
Yellow,
See,
okay.
I got smart. I started color coding my shit now. So
Oh.
I thought you meant like
before
my
I was
signals.
like fucking up the levels, and yeah, now I'm
Beautiful.
Nice.
Testosterone.
good. Okay, so do we want to just go right into it?
Yeah.
Have like
Alright.
an intro jingle? Or?
We just kind of scream at the camera a little bit.
That wasn't supposed to be what we do, but
So we were talking about doing like a whole intro where like we start, like we DJ in the beginning.
Ooh.
And kind of like do like a news segment for like the artist, the community,
Yeah.
and then we go into the interview. But since we're just still starting this, it's like we're kind of just going with the flow of it.
yeah.
Yeah, just you want to hit record, you got to hit record.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
But
exactly.
I like the DJing idea. We're gonna have to pretty much exclusively do our own music and
Yeah.
other people's like maybe unreleased music or something.
Right.
Because we're gonna find ourselves in like the
Which we got to
copyright
talk about
bullshit, you know?
doing the
So,
Twitch thing and
Yeah.
stuff, because we're talking about doing it like filming on Twitch where they have like a stuff for like DJs and then taking the Twitch and then putting it.
Yeah, like exporting the Twitch and then putting it on YouTube. So maybe we don't monetize YouTube, but we monetize Twitch. I don't know. I don't know
So many
much
rules.
about that. So
Yeah, the Twitch thing is confusing to me.
Yeah.
It's very.
I streamed I did my first Twitch stream probably like a couple weeks before they rolled out that announcement. And I was like, oh man, everything's gonna change now.
Dang.
I was gonna try and do that regularly, and
right.
yeah, I don't know.
So
See.
I don't know. Well, we're figuring it out as we go along. I don't know. This happens every time.
Every
Attack of
single
the-
time.
Attack of the
We should
stuffed
just
animals.
have those when it falls down. We should have like a little graphic where it zooms in and it looks like he's gnawing on you or something.
It shocks you.
Yeah, it's
This was Baby Grogu's or Baby Yoda's, Grogu's tunic, whatever. And then I took Grogu.
I
to,
thought you did something else. Go ahead. You took him and what?
Okay. So I took Baby Yoda to season 3, the Essential Freaks
Nice.
festival, and I whooped the fuck out of that festival, dude. Like I didn't get a hotel room because they were expensive, and I didn't get a hotel room down the street because they were also like low-key a little expensive. I got a campsite down the street at a state park that I never even used. I never checked into my campsite. I just slept in the back of my brand new Tacoma.
Hell yeah.
And
Savage.
I only slept probably like 4 or 5 hours that weekend. And then Saturday night, I like crashed in a coochie couch. Just
Coochie couch.
like laid out. I bought one, crashed. And that was the best sleep of my life, bro. I was feeling the sub. I was feeling the fucking 808s and the sliding subs like in my dreams, I forget who was playing during that time. I think Space Wizard. I woke up to Space Wizard.
Nice.
So.
I thought you took the head off of Yoda and like
No,
cut it
my
off,
God,
and then you
no.
replaced it with that one. I was like,
Oh my God!
diabolical.
No, that's not what I did. No, what happened was Baby Yoda, ended up falling out of his tunic, and so he was naked. And I was like, all right, we're just ditching the tunic. And I had naked Baby Yoda with me. And that was like my comfort pal for a little while. And everyone was
Just
dancing
naked.
around with naked Baby Yoda. And then I put him down to go to the bathroom.
like a
I left him right
sacrifice.
outside the bathroom, perched up against the wall or something.
Somebody took him.
Yeah, someone took him.
You know,
Abducted.
I don't know
It's
where he
such a
went,
problem.
so we're doing,
Oh,
Find
welcome
Baby
to the
Yoda.
final mix.
Find Baby Yoda.
Find Baby Yoda, episode 8 of the
Naked,
final
he's
mix.
naked. That's
Have
the only
you
difference.
seen this Yoda?
Have you seen me put a little picture of him here? Just blur it out
That
his
would
little
be a good
private-
sticker design.
What,
Have you
naked?
seen this naked baby Yoda?
Yes. That would be perfect. Get off of him. Jesus. Anyway,
Sorry,
thanks
Aubrey.
for tuning in.
Welcome
We have
to
a
the final
special
mix,
we have
yes.
a little special guest here today.
Yeah, oh yeah. Would you like to introduce yourself?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Hexadevi, Christine. Right?
Christina.
Christina, I'm so sorry. Christine
okay.
is XTN. I'm
You
sorry.
got-
I'm
you
sorry.
got the other name right.
Christine and Christina.
That
Yeah.
reminds me of
go.
you ever see the movie The Other Guys?
No.
No.
I have, but it's been a while.
There's a scene where she's like, "Oh, Christina," and the guy's like, "My wife's name is Christina. Get it right." But That's hearsay. That's
I wish I had a different last syllable for my name, something unique like that. Because that's just like the story of my life, is always telling people, no, it's Christina, there's an A on the
Oh
end.
no, now I feel
No,
awful.
no, it's okay.
I feel
But like, what if it was something else?
like a Y or a
Christini.
Christini. No, that's like a bread, right? That's like
Christinia.
a Chris.
That would be 2 extra syllables.
What if
I
it
don't
was
know
a
if you need-
consonant?
Oh,
Oh,
Christine.
Christine.
Christinac.
Christinac. Like that's Christinac actually.
Yeah.
Like oh my god, Jesus.
Christineth. I like Christineth. That's not.
Yeah, that's funny, but it's already in a movie.
It's a movie.
Well, he just said it was.
The movie.
The movie was called Christineth.
No, it was
Oh,
in.
no,
the-
I was. That'd be hilarious. Christineth.
This is why.
Coming to you this summer. Christina. All right. Well, it's very nice to have you on, Christina.
Thanks for having me.
So, was there like anything that you had in mind in particular for this episode to talk about?
Yeah. First of all, how'd you get here? How did you come to Florida?
did I
Because
get
we met. Well, it was at 201. 201 is I think the first
Yes.
time that we met, and you were there too, right? We were all
Yeah,
we
it
were
was a show that we were playing. I think it was
the open decks. It was the open decks.
I guess it was Open Decks.
It was
I
the
wasn't
Open
sure if it
Decks.
was the one that we had hosted there or if it
No.
was the Open Decks one.
No, it was the open decks, and then everybody was. How long ago was that? Like a year,
A
two?
little over a year. Yeah.
Wow.
It's been a little while.
I thought it was like a long time ago. But anyway, so it was open decks, and I remember like you walked in. I was like, I've never seen this person before, and then you like walked in all nice and like, hi, how you doing? And then I think we were talking, and then I wasn't sure if you were like at first. I wasn't sure if you were like novice or just coming to the scene because everybody who usually comes in is like pretty new.
Yeah,
to
especially
it.
for an Open Decks
And then, like,
201 back in the day.
You went on and absolutely murdered it. Like I was like, because you were playing some like, to me at least at the time, some pretty heavy shit. Which was nice because nobody ever plays super heavy shit down there. And then we were talking, I'm like, oh my God, she is a pro beyond belief. I was like, oh my God, I was talking to her and I thought she was new. And then I just like put my foot in my mouth. I was like, but no, absolutely killed it. And then from there, we just kept on seeing you around, kept on doing more and more stuff. So how did you make your way to Florida? Like, what's your origin story?
Ooh, I'm from Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Birthplace of
yeah.
house music.
Chirac.
There you go.
Yeah, Chicago is pretty crazy. I moved to Florida during the pandemic. So it's kind of like as everything started to reanimate,
Okay.
I woke up in Florida. Yeah.
It's
But-
definitely an interesting place to reanimate to, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the pandemic vibes to go to Florida, it was everyone's calling
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I feel like there's a big influx of people in Florida. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm definitely not the only one to move down here. But
We appreciate you being down here. You know, not everyone that came to Florida.
Yeah,
is
us as
appreciated down
Floridians,
here,
we
but
hate people.
yeah, stop
But you-
coming here.
Stop coming here.
She's
It's-
with the crowd. She
yeah,
knows, she knows
she's
the right
assimilated.
side. All right. So anyway, as you were saying, you came to Florida.
Yeah, and it took a few years before I actually liked living in Florida. For a while, I was like, what the hell did I do? What am I doing
It's like
here?
it's hot as fuck.
Well, that's the part that I like, because I'm
Really?
half Filipino, so the tropical climate suits me well.
Nice.
Yeah, that part's good. For a while, I just had to figure out like where to live and like how to get comfortable. I went through a lot of personal change at that time, so I mean, like the person I was when I left Chicago is I feel so different from that person.
Wow.
So yeah, there's just like a lot of change, a lot of things going on, and it really took until probably spring of this year before I was like, all right, I can do this. I like
Wow.
living in Florida.
Aw.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling a little bit more at home here now.
Yeah, ooh, thank God. I made it to that those open decks at 201 because I needed to make sure that my tracks read on my USB because I was getting ready to go to Burning Man like the next week
Yeah,
or something like
we're going to
that.
get to that part of the conversation for sure.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I ended up there. And I think you guys were some of the first people I met in like the St. Pete scene.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'd made some acquaintances in Tampa. I'd gone to a few shows at TK. Yeah, nothing was really happening, or I don't know, maybe I was awkward or something.
No, I know what it is though. Especially first time like in the scene, like it's hard.
You don't know who to talk to.
Yeah, or or like how to talk to people, I guess. But when I went out and played those open decks, I was like, wow, those guys were really cool.
Aw.
Played good music. They were super nice. Yeah, I was like, maybe I can do this. Maybe I'll go on the same beat again. Yeah, so you guys are like some of the first people I met out there.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Inspiring.
Well, that's really cool. And yeah, you absolutely killed it at 201. So you're saying
you.
that you had to make sure your tracks read for Burning Man because you were going out the following week or following month.
It was really soon. I think I was leaving in like 6 days.
Jeez.
While I was at those open decks, I got confirmation for one of my DJ sets there, and it's Burning Man, so everything happens kind of like you prepare for it all year long, so that everything can happen at the last minute.
Understood.
If it happens
Wow.
at all.
Right, right.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was crazy. But yeah, I hadn't played out in a very long time, and I just have a little controller at my place that I put together my sets on. So I don't know, I can probably let go of this fear now, but I always think like, oh God, I hope my tracks read. I hope my USB's formatted correctly.
You can never really let go of that fear. I mean, because if you're constantly updating Rekordbox and people are constantly updating the firmware on their CDJs, like that's where the big incompatibility comes from, is like people not having the right firmware and software. So it's good that you stay on your feet with that for sure.
Yeah. That's like still in the back of my mind for my upcoming gigs. And it's like, oh, I hope
Just being
everything works.
100% like
Yeah.
Double
it is
USB.
300%. Yeah,
like-
I'm bringing 3 copies.
Oh, there you go.
So
3 copies.
have you had a moment? I mean, I imagine every DJ has, but that it just you put the USB in and it's not formatted, like it's something's wrong with it. Like, what do you do in that situation?
Yes, the last time that happened, I was performing in Hawaii. After
That's so dope.
it was crazy. It was after this like week-long. It was kind of a retreat, but it wasn't very relaxing. It was actually kind of stressful. It was kind of like a team competition.
Oh,
Yeah, I made some like really cool friends on that trip, and at the end of it all, my team like won the final day's challenge, so we got a little bit of the time slot at the party at the end of the night. Yeah. So we went to go play all the tracks that we just made that week, and I plugged in my USB, and I was just like, oh, nothing.
Oh,
But
no.
that's why you wear a backup around your neck or
Yeah.
somewhere on your person to plug in, and that one worked. It was either the second or the third USB that I plugged in that was like, oh, thank God, it works.
yeah, staying strapped with 3 USBs. Just hell
That's-
yeah.
I mean, that's why you get pants with lots of pockets.
There you go. It's like I know I got it on here somewhere.
another
Just
one.
hold on.
Yeah, and
Pulls it
even,
out of the
even
shoe.
at my last show at Steep Station in St. Pete, the first USB I plugged in, it didn't read right away. I think it took a minute and then it read, but yeah, I had to like go get my backup because yeah.
Why does that happen? Is there like a reason? Does like a USB? So say this USB works for like this deck or that, and it just doesn't work. Is it something that you did wrong, or is it just like it
Usually,
just happens?
if you-
Like
if you-
God didn't want you to play.
That could be it. That could be. It could be the universe telling you something. But most cases, if you plugged it in one place and it worked, and then you plugged it in another place and it didn't work, it's because the firmware is different between those two CDJs. The firmware has not been updated on one of them. Either the one that you
Interesting.
plugged into has an old firmware that's like compatible with your old version of Rekordbox, and then you tried to plug it in a newer CDJ with a newer firmware, and that is where it fucked up. Or vice versa, where like you have the newer version of Rekordbox, you're preparing for a new firmware, you show up to a gig, and whoever provided the CDJs hasn't updated the firmware on those CDJs. That's where the
I didn't know that. so.
incompatibility comes from. So the DJs are supposed to be responsible for updating their Rekordbox, keeping the most recent version of Rekordbox, and providing, exporting their flash drive like that. And then the tech companies are supposed to be like updating their firmware on their CDJs so that it can read the most recent version of Rekordbox.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
So-
on Rekordbox 5. Cretaceous era.
Yeah, so
Said, "Fuck."
I mean, like if you're like, I know they have like the patch updates. Like if you're not on the most recent patch, you're probably okay. And sometimes people update their Rekordbox, and that's what fucks up. Like there was a bug in the most recent patch update, and then like that fucks you up. So
okay.
there's a lot of different variables, but if that's what's wrong, then I don't know. I don't know how to really fix it at that point. Maybe
Just break it.
use someone else's Rekordbox stuff.
Just break the
I
whole
don't know.
fucking thing.
The table.
Yeah.
But tech companies, fucking keep your CDJs updated. 'Cause
Yes.
That shit is so annoying when it's not.
Working.
I'll tell you. What? So anyway, getting back to Burning Man, you said you went in 2023, and then did you go in 24?
I did not go this year.
So
Yeah.
we'll stay away from 24, but 23, that was like kind of an interesting year, right? Because there was big flooding that year.
Yeah.
And so kind of walk us through like the whole Burning Man experience, because we've never been, you know, we see a bunch of stuff, you hear a bunch of things, you see a bunch of things on social media.
Yeah, I heard you saved several people's lives.
Oh, yeah.
The real hero.
Single-handedly.
Wow, there you go. Just dragged them through the mud.
Yep.
Just like,
A Burning Man Medal of Honor.
it's like Mad Max out there.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Last year, I'd say for the first like half of the week, it was like, this is what I remember from Burning Man. This is my second time going.
Oh, cool.
And the weather was beautiful. You know, it was hot and sunny. And then right after my set at Camp Question Mark, which was like the big one. That was like the one I was most excited for. Yeah, they're like the base mecca of the playa.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that was really dope. As I was riding my bike to that set, it was starting to look ominous, like dusty and windy, which is kind of cool, especially as I was playing at sunset. I had a lot of like the deep dubs and stuff. And then after my set, that's when we started to feel drops of rain. And I had another set at my Camp Puka Dome at 1 a.m. So it was like kind of a long time in between sets, and we're just like looking at the sky, like, okay, here we go. And I think it was like kind of sprinkling while I was playing at Hookah Dome, and then after that, it was like, okay, it's actually raining now. And then I think it was the next like 3 or 4 days, everything was just like stopped. It didn't sound like it was stopped because there was still music everywhere, but if you looked around or like went out walking, I don't know. For me, it was kind of a buzzkill.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
because
hear
like
that.
no one can. You can't drive your art car. You can't ride your bike, and it just
I'm sure it's probably tough to walk through too. I mean,
yeah. Barefoot ended up being the way to go because
That makes sense.
if you're wearing shoes, it just like clumps and piles on.
How big is Burning Man? Like how?
dude, I saw a video of it recently of 2024, and it was like an aerial footage. Like someone had left from a flight from, what is it, Arizona, I guess is where it is? Or where do
It's
they
in
have it?
Nevada.
Nevada.
Yeah,
So
Black
they
Rock
had
does it.
left probably, I don't know, maybe from Las Vegas, and they went at night and they took a video of them flying over on their like ascending whatever, and it looked insane. Like it's a whole little town down there.
It's like a city. I was gonna say it's the same size as Chicago, but
Is it really the same size as Chicago?
Bro, that's
It's that
insane.
big?
it's that.
So
big.
how do you set all that up? How do you set all that? How do you
Months in advance, or
Move
probably like
this-
a month in advance.
Yeah,
at
move
least.
this
It's like an
desert
all year. Like,
Atlantis around? How do you do that?
yeah, seriously. I mean, I went with the same theme camp both times, and we start having meetings in like December, January.
Wow.
Yeah, it's nuts. And I did a lot of the, like, I was one of the leads, and I did a lot of the internal stuff. I helped set up like our data entry system, and I helped put together the site map. So had to like collect everyone's information, like what are you camping in? How big is your rig? Do you need power? And like put that on a document that shows like, well, this is where we're gonna put you, and then we'll get your power drop and make sure everyone pays their dues. And it's a lot of planning.
Yeah.
And when you get out there, it's a lot of like building and like hard manual labor, and everyone's tired and dehydrated.
Well, are you like putting yourself into that too? Like, are you physically building things, or?
Since I was driving from Florida, so in 2023, I did not do. I did some of the like physical building.
Yeah.
Like everybody helps out, but I wasn't part of the crew that showed up like during build week.
Right.
To set up.
Like how early do you show up, or do you show up like right on time, or how does it?
Both times I've gone, I got there the day the gates opened to everybody, which is like the Sunday morning.
Okay.
And then it goes for a week. That the following Saturday is when the man burns. The next day is when the temple burns, and then the next Monday is Exodus, when everybody kind of like starts packing up to go home.
Wow.
Yeah, but the
That's
build
so
crew, they'll get
insane.
there like the week before any of that starts.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a lot of building.
That's crazy. I'm like, my mind is blown just to think about that many people in the middle of nowhere.
Nowhere. Yeah.
Just burning stuff
The
and
desert of
just
Nevada.
listening to music. That's crazy.
So I have a few questions about like burn culture.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Okay. So the first thing is, I heard that like money is like no good there. It's a barter system. Is that true?
It's not as much of a barter system as it is a gifting culture.
Okay.
So when you get there, well, first off, if you're me, you've spent all your money already. But when you get there, there's no like commerce. You bring everything you need to survive, and you know, like share with your campmates. And then there are 10 principles of Burning Man. And one of those 10 principles is gifting. So that's the idea of you come and you share your gifts, whether that is a creative performance or like a little trinket or, oh, that person really needs a chapstick right now. Like
Yeah.
it's just like a gifting thing. And you give
Okay.
without expectation of receiving anything in return.
Oh.
So, I mean, yeah, people will like trade stuff.
Okay, but it's not barter. It's
Yeah, not as
it's
much
gifting.
of barter.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so do
That's
you
pretty
feel
cool.
like most people adhere to that? Like adhere to those policies and those principles, like you were saying?
I think so. I mean, as Burning Man has grown over the years, you know,
It's-
there's arguments to be made for both sides because now that there's like this many people showing up.
Like with any festival.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I think at one point last year, one of our camp leads did maybe offer someone a bill or two to like, please come clean our porta potty or something like that.
Yeah.
'Cause they didn't get cleaned when the rain started.
Right.
So it was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes
but
sense. That makes sense.
That was very rare.
I'd do it.
I did, you do it
For ability.
for ability. I just I don't know. It's very interesting to me because like I was part of a community, like a religious community, Unitarian Universalism, growing up, and it seems very similar. Like the guiding principles and like the foundation of Burning Man and how the community is just supposed to like make itself happen, kind of so to speak. And obviously you have to pay to get in. I know like you have to buy the ticket, but. It seems it's a very interesting concept to me. I'd love to go out and check it out. But it kind of leads me to my second question, another question. The influencer culture, like you were kind of, I don't know if that's what you were alluding to necessarily, but I've heard like the influencer culture is kind of invading Burning Man and like making it not as wholesome and like, I don't know. It's very interesting to me because like Burning Man seems like a very attainable thing, right? Like it's in the U.S. As long as you have the money, you buy the ticket, you go there, you survive, like you said, like for the week or how long is it? It's a week, right?
Yeah, about a week.
Yeah.
Real quick, how long does it take you to get out? Like once you're there, how do you get out? How long does it take you to get out if you're like, oh, I didn't bring enough stuff and I need to go home?
Ooh.
Or is that how it works?
Ask a Diplo.
As Diplo?
No, I don't know. That was a story that he like tried to dip early in 2023.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Interesting. Diplo always beating the allegations. Or facing the allegations.
Stupid.
If it's raining, you're not gonna get out. Like on my way out, I drove past a few cars that were like sunk into the desert, like halfway up their tire. But I've had campmates like have to go and then come back, and if they have to like go to like Reno to get something and then come back, they're gone the whole day. Because that's like a couple hours of a drive once you're out of the city.
Yeah.
And I mean, while you're in the city, you're driving 5 miles an hour and waiting for people to walk past and stuff.
So
it's-
how far? So Reno's the biggest like market close.
Or
to
it's the
think
next
so.
the
the
next,
next biggest
spot.
city.
Yeah, that's
so
like the
how
best
far
city.
is it from Reno?
A couple hours, you
I
said?
think, yeah, between 2 and 3 hours.
Like just driving through the desert.
If you're like, I need to get out 2 or 3, oh my god.
Yeah, like if you
Not
have to
me.
go to the hospital, then.
Not me.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I
do
can't
they?
do
I mean,
that.
they have like med tents and stuff there. I imagine, right?
Yeah, I think I've heard of people having to be like, what's that called if you get like lifted out?
Oh,
and-
airlifted.
Airlifted?
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm saying like, but like if
You're
you
in
just have
debt
like
for the
a
rest
like
of
a
your
boo boo or like you're
That's where
dehydrated
money
or
counts.
something. Well, they have an airport there, right? Like they have a landing strip, right? I've heard they have a. I don't know if it's. I guess it makes sense if it's a helipad.
Yeah, a
not
lot of
land
these
strip.
rumors about
But
Burning Man.
There are a lot of
I mean,
rumors.
it's
That's
a
why I
whole
want to.
city, so.
But
yeah.
well, that's why I was just curious because I've heard people like have their private jets like fly in and out of there
What?
to drop them in and off, in and out. Like maybe not necessarily during the
Yeah, give
the
us the
burn, but
insider
like
scoop.
before and after.
I feel like I'm interviewing like a Scientologist. Like this is like, are the allegations true about the...
Well, no one in my camp flew in on a jet, but I did get a little taste of the whole like influencer thing because I was also helping to book the lineup
Right.
for my camp, and we got an email from someone that just like it just kind of like seemed weird. And being a music artist myself, I probably like read this email through a certain lens, and then I showed it to my leads. I was like, what do you guys think about this? Because the way this person presented themselves, they were like, I'd love to come provide the vibes for your camp. And
it was Paris Hilton.
yeah, it was so weird what she said. Yeah, like she talked about DJing, but also helping curate the lineup and like put together like what's going on the stage.
So overstepping a little bit. It's like, hey, I want to come like provide my energy, but also pick what's going on if you need help. And it's like, who the fuck?
Nailed it. Yeah, that's
Is that how it was?
That's pretty
It
much
was
how
me,
it was.
okay? I wanted to go so bad.
So bad.
Yeah, and it was just really weird. It was kind of like, let me come be the aesthetic for your camp.
Aesthetic.
Okay.
Aesthetic, yeah. And
that.
Aesthetic.
and I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm just super critical, but I went and clicked on her SoundCloud mix, and it was like, so this is from 4 years ago.
Nothing new. No.
Yeah, and I mean, confession, I one of my sets that I was going to play was stuff that I played at my first burn in 2019. Some of that music is like really timeless, though.
Yeah.
No, and that's facts. When you can post some, they had a stage playing Daft Punk's "One More Time." Did you hear about
At
this?
the trash fence.
At the trash fence.
Yeah,
One
Bro.
more time.
They had it playing. Well, I guess it'd be better if you told it.
they're always at the trash fence.
But like, it was going
What
for a
fence is-
half hour. That song was going for a half hour.
What fence is made out of trash?
I don't know.
Well, the fence is not made out of trash, but when you reach the trash fence, that's like the outer limits of the city. That's like
Okay.
the end.
Oh.
Like,
it's the
don't
end game.
leave. Don't go past the trash fence.
Or the sandworms will get you.
Star Wars. Out there. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I was just saying, like, it was playing like Daft Punk's "One More Time," but it was like it went up to 100 more times.
What?
Am I right?
Yeah.
Am I
And
accurate? in
every
saying
year
this?
they
that
had one
happens
more time
Oh my
than the last year.
God, that's awful. I think I'd lose
Death
my
by
mind.
death by one
Imagine
more
just
time.
like tripping balls and one more time, one more time.
No, it's like one more time, two more times,
like
three more times, four more, 100 more times.
Oh my God.
Yep.
I could not.
And you said that's every year?
Yeah.
That's
every
like
year.
that's just one of the casual like rituals.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Interesting. Maybe ritual isn't the right word, but
Yeah.
Gotta go see Daft Punk at the trash fence.
How did you get into Burning Man? Like what was the process of you kind of getting into this?
Well, the first year was 2019, so I drove there from Chicago. It was about half the distance, half the time it took to drive from Florida. But
Let's talk about the Panhandle for 30 minutes. Talk about how much we hate it.
how did I get there from Chicago? I knew that I wanted to go, and I somehow found this camp. Hookah Dome is mainly based out of Chico, California.
okay.
But I found them on Facebook. When I showed up at the burn, I recognized one person in that camp. I was like, didn't I just meet you at a club in Chicago like a couple weeks ago? So that was like really random. But
That's cool.
Yeah, for the most part, I didn't know anybody in the camp. I applied for a low income ticket that year, and that application is very long and introspective. You gotta like write some essays and like prove
Jeez.
that
It's like a
you don't have
scholarship.
the money to
Yeah.
be there, and then they'll give you a cheaper ticket.
I have no money. Please let me go.
I'm definitely going to fill out that application.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
100%
It's
filling
worth
out
it.
that
Yeah.
application.
Oh God, for the discount that it provides.
I wrote a lot of scholarship letters. I know exactly what. I'm not going to
You know
fake
what
my
to say.
application, but I know what to say. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that works. Not going to fake it, but I know exactly what to say. So that's
Yeah.
cool, though. That's nice that they offer that option.
Yeah. And then I found my camp, and I was going as I wanted to just like go there and DJ, but this was kind of like, I guess it was right before my rebrand all kind of like came together, because I wasn't always Hexadevi. For a lot of years I performed under a different name, and then when I decided to drop that name, there was kind of like a gap period where I was like, I don't know.
What am I gonna?
Am I even making music anymore? And yeah, everything kind of started to turn back around. I guess Burning Man was, that kind of like got the cogs turning. Well, after Burning Man, I went through my yoga teacher training, and then the pandemic hit. So it was kind of like maybe Burning Man was a catalyst,
The catalyst?
for change. Yeah.
For
I mean,
yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, so that was pretty crazy. I didn't really know how to present myself because, I was kind of like in between names. I had music to play, but also with it being Burning Man, I was primarily focused on just, like surviving. And I went alone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think I was it had been a while since my last relationship, but I remember my ex-boyfriend at the time was all like, I don't know if you're ready for that. Like you should really consider if you really want to go, because he went the year before and was doing that whole like, I'm cool enough to go.
Yeah. Like gatekeeping.
Yeah.
type shit?
Yeah. And I was like,
I don't know
okay,
if you're like ready for all that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, why don't you just stay home?
Yeah. So I was like, well, I have to go.
We have Burning
Yeah,
Man at
right.
home.
Literally. Like,
Yeah.
reverse psychology.
Yeah. So I went by myself. I just like drove across the country by myself.
Wow.
And it was totally worth it. It was like super liberating. I realized I love being on the road. I love traveling by myself. And the next time I go back to Burning Man, I'm going by myself.
There you go.
I went with a partner last year and was like,
You like
Kinda like
what
going
is
by
it
myself.
about going by yourself that you do? You like blast the music? Do you just like you make stops at your own like dispense kind of thing? Like
I guess it's
just a
like I'm
piece?
with myself. I don't.
It's nice to be able to enjoy yourself like that.
You're
you know?
like
Yeah.
becoming comfortable. You're comfortable with yourself. You're just like, I like this. This is nice, relaxing.
That's been really important for me, especially like over the past like year, I guess, is just really like being with myself, and as like hokey as it sounds, just like learning to love myself.
No,
I
no,
can- I
that's,
totally
hey,
understand
yo,
that.
listen, we know what you mean.
Yeah, bro, you gotta like love yourself.
You absolutely do.
for sure.
Yeah.
Because you're stuck with yourself forever.
Yep.
So
Yeah, oh yeah, and you gotta make yourself happy. You always gotta look out for yourself because no one else is going to look out for you the way that you're gonna look out for you.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's why we burned the man.
that's why we burn the man.
Totally. I mean, yeah, growing up, I guess I've had a tendency to like lose myself in relationships, and traveling by myself or like with myself is really healing and like kind of brings me
Like
back.
recenter yourself.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, I actually really like this, and I like me. And so that's been a big
Oh,
thing.
that's so wholesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna ask you not to, because I know we're still talking about Burning Man, but when you're saying like you were going through a lot and like you were healing, like what are some things that like maybe there's somebody going through it? I know like even our own lives we're trying to love ourselves and everything, but what things did you do to kind of get to that peace, that recenter and like heal and stuff? Was there anything that you did specifically that worked for you? I mean, I imagine also the yoga and stuff like that.
Yeah. So, gosh, maybe that started it all. Yeah, I started getting into yoga training. I went to Burning Man. The pandemic hit. I decided to stop taking hormonal birth control.
Yo, that's a
That's a big
huge
one.
one. That is a
oh my God.
huge one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the turning point when it was like, I like making music again. I'm finishing songs again. I care again. And then
That's awesome.
that's when Hexadevi came to me.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what the name Hexadevi? Where does that come from? What is?
You guys are a little bit younger than me. I don't know if you'll know this show. Have you ever seen a show? It was on CBS. It was on CBS, and then it was canceled for a bit. Went to Toonami. It's called Reboot.
I'm not familiar. with
I've seen
Reboot.
the like title. I've seen the title screen of it.
Yeah.
I might have seen the title screen. It sounds familiar.
It's like a computer animated show about these little beings that live inside a computer.
Okay.
And so they have like a little city in a computer, and the user, which is kind of it's like the god character that they don't
yeah.
God.
see,
Okay, yeah,
will input games for pleasure, computer games.
Interesting.
Okay.
And every time the user inputs a game, a giant cube comes down from the sky and just like covers a sector of the city. And any of the little beings that are in that cube, they're like in the game.
Oh.
Yeah, so they gotta like play the game, and if the user wins, then that section of the city gets nullified.
This is a kid show?
Nullified?
Yeah,
what,
dude,
what does that mean? Like they
Play?
nuke it?
It was a kid's version of Saw. It's
my
like
God.
no, that's what it sounds like. It's like you're gonna play this game, and
you like
if
to
you
play a
lose,
game?
you're coming with me. You're done for.
Dude, this show is like the best. This was my childhood.
Oh my
This is
God.
every Saturday morning. Yeah, so
Wow.
they play the game, and if you get nullified, you turn into this like blob worm thing. Like you're not like a person anymore.
God.
You're like a
Can you
That is
be a
some dark
person again?
Shit.
Is there a way to reattain personhood?
So the main character's father was like a scientist, and he was kind of like studying how to do that, how to try and like bring back nullified sprites.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sprites. That's what they're
That's what
called.
they're called?
Yeah.
Alright.
Dude, oh my God, the show is amazing.
And you said this got canceled?
It got canceled because as they started getting to the later seasons, they wanted to give the female characters like 2 breasts, and CBS didn't like that.
Yeah. Only one breast.
Yeah,
That's
you
what they
can't-
like.
You can't show. There can't be like cleavage in the.
Yeah,
female
it has to be
Oh,
one.
okay.
You can have like one shape.
One like dots dropped on the chest.
Interesting.
Yeah, but if you can tell there's 2, then
That's it.
Can't do
Yeah.
that.
Can't do that.
Can't have
So then-
physical
Damn,
anatomy.
two.
so then it moved to Toonami, thank God.
Okay.
And yeah, oh, the show is great.
Wow.
And I don't know if they're villains because they're not straight up bad, but there are characters that are viruses, like computer viruses.
Right.
And one of them is named Hexadecimal.
Okay.
And she's like wicked. She's the queen of chaos. She wears a mask that's like constantly changing facial expressions, and she's kind of like a deranged artist.
Interesting.
And yeah, oh my God, like Hexadecimal, it's perfect. And I started watching this show again during the pandemic as I like just finished my yoga teacher training. I was kind of getting ready to move out of Chicago. Didn't really know what was in store. I was like, I guess I'll go down to Florida. And I think I was in the bathroom at the time. And I was,
All great ideas.
Yeah.
Come from the like people taking showers or
Yep.
just
On
in
the
the
toilet.
bathroom, just
Yeah.
brushing their teeth.
Brushing their teeth.
The
Yep.
bathroom is the number one creative
Me
spot.
time, kind of.
It's the
totally.
in a way.
If you're going to love yourself.
full circle.
bathroom. And I remember it was like some kind of like feeling in my hands, or I think there was a taste involved. And I was just like, Hexadevi. That's it.
That was the
Wow.
acid breaking off in the.
Yep.
Wow.
That's so cool.
That's it.
That's dope.
That's like you were like it just hit you like out of like
It was very strange. It was like something like arose or awakened inside of me.
Wow.
It was, yeah, like fresh off birth control. So I was like, oh, this is real. This is really
Wow.
happening.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I imagine that could be like such a, almost like psychedelic experience, like re-altering your brain chemistry after
was-
I mean, it's
being
a lot
on
of
it for
hormones
so long.
that your whole
you know what I
body's
mean?
just like,
Yeah.
all right, we're gonna stop producing this,
Yeah,
and like
so
yeah.
just.
messed up, right?
Oh my
like
God,
I didn't
yeah.
really realize what I was getting into
When I
got
was
on
younger, I'd be like, oh yeah, like why don't you just like get on, like
On
birth control
Well,
or whatever. Like, I
they,
hate
they
using.
push birth control like that.
And then the
because
older I've gotten, I'm like, if someone's like, oh, I want to go on birth, I'm like, really think about it.
Yeah.
Like really, like it's not worth me. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's not good for anybody
Yeah.
at this
So
point.
quick sidebar, since we're on this topic.
You're taking birth control.
No, yeah, I'm taking birth control. Well, no, so 2 things, right? I've heard somewhere, and it could be fake news, but there were like journals published about it, so I don't think it was fake news, about male birth control, like a pill for men.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting.
The thing with that is they've been having it for a while. It's been out and they've been doing tests, but they haven't approved it because men. It's the same side effects.
Right. as
Even
well.
maybe even a less than like
Yeah.
what women have, and guys are like, no, I'm not going to be fucking
Right.
moody. I'm not going to have some fatigue. I'm not going to gain weight. Fuck
Right,
that.
right.
So
No, it is a very
it's out there. It's just like
male-dominated
not
thing. Like,
guys are
Interesting.
pussies.
yeah. Okay, so the second thing is vasectomies are getting pushed really hard right now. People are I'm curious what y'all's
Whoa.
opinion on that.
I don't know. Like.
Because they
I
are
mean,
reversible,
They're
so,
reversible,
like,
but I mean, like, I don't see anything bad when I do them. You can still,
you can still nut,
you could still do what you want. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think it depends 100% on the people and the time in their life. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you told me, like, hey, Christian, I'm thinking about getting a vasectomy, I'd be like, bro, you're 25. Like, don't do that. Like, just wait. Wait. But I don't know. I feel like that is, would I pick a vasectomy over like the person I'm with, like being on birth control? Possibly.
right, like if
But
you guys are having the conversation.
definitely
type
over getting like their tubes tied.
Yeah, no, so
People
so
still
this
do
is what I'm
that?
saying. Like if you're facing a vasectomy versus being on hormonal birth control, you know what I mean? Like, and you're not responding well to the hormones, and you're talking about getting off of it.
But then
and
you gotta know, well, how committed are you guys to that relationship? Because like birth control, you can hop on and off. Vasectomy is not like, oh, I'll just reverse it next week. Like just
Put it back.
like just like
Isn't that like a sitcom where
They go. It was on The Office. The
was on
Office.
The-
Remember
he got a
when he's
vasectomy
like
and they got it
snip,
undone,
snap,
yeah.
snip, snap. Yeah, that's what it was. So, depends how dedicated you are to the person you're with.
Fucking Michael Scott.
It's like,
bro.
please.
Snip, snaps.
Make up your mind.
All right. What's your opinion on this?
I mean, in all seriousness, yeah. Because with the hormonal birth control, that also affects like who you're attracted to.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish I knew that because I was in a relationship when I started, and after that relationship ended, I kept taking it for some reason. I just didn't know any better. I had such little understanding of how it was actually affecting me and who I am as a person that I didn't think about it. And I should have. Because, yeah, I don't know, your sense of like who you're attracted to is different depending on how your hormones are affected. Yeah, I don't really understand how. I mean, I don't know.
And the fact that everybody reacts to it different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people lose weight, gain weight, more emotional,
Well,
less
it's just
emotional.
like how like
I stopped making
antidepressants
music.
are and how, wow,
Stop making
that
you're
sucks.
motivated.
Yeah.
It's the hormones and all these chemicals in our body, absolutely insane. What they can make you do and can't make you do.
It's like who you are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Is it like your will and spirit can take you far, as much, but then also it's like, no, like there's actual chemicals in your body that affect everything about you.
Yep.
Yeah. Then I had a teacher who said there are only two things in the world that can make you feel good: serotonin and dopamine.
Yes.
I was like, well,
it's true.
not wrong.
It's very true.
We have an epidemic right now, especially in America, of dopamine fiends.
Oh my god.
Oh,
bro.
man.
It is insane. It's all
Everyone
this-
is chasing
it's
is
all
that
this.
fucking dopamine, serotonin high. Dude.
Oh my god, I know. There's people that like I know, like me, I've never been a super chasing the like high of a dopamine or serotonin. Like it just for me, like
You want happiness. Everyone wants to be happy.
Like artificial- like
happiness is temporary.
yeah, like I've never really taken drugs to make me happier, like constantly. So yeah, pop them on here too. But like but like never like I'm not like I don't have a big addiction like kind of thing.
Like an addictive mentality.
Yeah, I don't have. Yeah,
personality,
yeah.
whatever,
I'm like all happiness is temporary in a sense. Like, I'm overall very happy, but I'm overall very happy because these little moments add up every time in my life. So if I'm going and searching for this super high, like everything else has to be that super high, and it will never be that super high. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I find joy. Like my dopamine is like making people laugh and making people happy, which you can constantly do all day, and it doesn't always need to be at this high level versus if you are,
at the casino.
gambling, or you're popping this, or you're
the
on your
club,
phone. Like the biggest thing is the phone. Like
phone,
just
man.
social media of like, I'm going to post this. I'm getting 200 people liking this at once. Like I am the center of their attention at this moment. You're not. They're scrolling and all this like fake love, and it's so weird to have that and like just search for that. Just search for that false like what do you call it? Like desire in a sense. Like people like people are just giving you attention, and it's like validation, and it's weird, bro. It's so weird. Like I don't know. I'm just happy to be alive sometimes. I'm just like, hey,
Right.
and the number one thing too, I think comparing yourself to people. Like you should not compare yourself to people. The only time I compare myself to other people is if I'm having a terrible day. How many times like me and you talk, I'm like, bro, I'm like, I'm going through it, with the whole everything. And I'm like, yeah, but at the end, there's somebody who has it way worse than me. And I'm just thankful that I'm not that person today,
Yep.
And like, did any of that, I mean, I imagine all that goes through your head every day. You're human. But
Especially
like,
as an artist.
Totally, yeah.
as an artist, now, like you working on yourself and like doing the yoga and stuff like that, like finding happiness within yourself, how did that feel?
Oh my God, it's such a relief, and it makes me feel younger. You know, to
Yeah.
realize like, wow, listening to the birds makes me happy, or it's like snuggling with the cat makes me happy, and not looking at my phone for the first like 30, 60 minutes of my day.
That's a big
game
one.
changer.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
can stay off your
That's-
phone like for the first hour that you wake up, that really is a game
Because
changer.
it traps you.
Yeah.
It traps you.
And I don't really notice it until I do the opposite and have a day where it's like, oh, I'll just check my notifications, and then an hour later it's like,
You're like, oh my God.
I
What
feel a
happened to
little
my
bit
day?
off.
Who am I?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's been a big thing, is just keep the yoga practice, find joy in the little things like you said.
Yeah.
And as artists, you know, that our highs are probably a little bit higher and then our lows might be a little bit lower.
Yeah.
So just trying to keep everything in balance is big. Yeah.
I've definitely been trying to work on that myself, and it's tough when like you have the artistry and you also kind of have to run it like a business, and then you have your actual work that you have to maintain your 40-hour or whatever it is, and then shit happens in life and it sets you back, and like, then you gotta fucking play catch up. It's tough, man. It's tough.
But if life was easy, it'd be so boring.
It would be.
It would be.
That's true.
Like,
It's about the journey, right?
it's
Not the
100. It's
destination.
about the journey and challenges of. If every day was perfect, it'd be so boring. It'd be
Right.
so boring. You have to have
why
some challenge.
Rich people are so angry all the time.
Exactly.
That's-
It's like,
that's right.
man,
Yeah.
I like being poor. I like
being
this.
poor.
I like the
Oh,
challenge.
Bro,
Fuck me
that's what-
over more.
Yeah, fucking put a billionaire in our position right now
Oh
and
my
see what they would
God.
do, dude.
Jesus Christ.
Everyone has this idea of billionaires are all self-made, but it's like, dude, if you're actually a billionaire, there's very little likelihood that you didn't have a good head start. You know what I mean? And I'm never mad at anyone who's born in a better situation than me, but it's like kind of crazy how disassociated some people are to their position in life. Like you have to recognize your position and like your place in everything, you know. And some people just abuse the fuck out of that.
Yeah,
That's very wise.
That's It's I
Thank you.
believe more a self-made millionaire than a self-made billionaire.
Yeah. Oh,
100%. You told me like
millionaire-
you made a couple mil by yourself.
Dude,
Oh yeah, you
especially
worked
in
your
this
ass off.
economy right now, yeah, you could
Wow,
definitely
yeah.
make it happen for sure. But if you're like, oh, I started from nothing and I'm a billionaire, I'm like,
Why do you exist? How?
I
How?
don't think that's
How do you do
possible.
this?
Like, I
You
I
did this
started with a
yourself?
small loan of $1 million and I made it. You know, I'm like, oh, okay.
I was like, you started.
Did you?
You have billions of dollars. I can't afford ramen.
I
Please,
can't afford ramen. Dude, ramen is through the roof now, dog.
bro. Ramen is through the roof.
Fucking
Really?
water. Well, okay, maybe not. I'm exaggerating, but like compared to what it
through the
was, you know
roof.
what I mean? It's through
It's
the
through the roof.
But water has blown my mind. Like if you go to Publix and buy a gallon of water, it is $1.39 now for a gallon of spring water, Publix brand spring water.
Used to be mad
It
cheap.
used to be like 86 cents. Like back in like 2017, 2018, it was 86 cents.
No, you wanna hear what's crazy
Crazy.
right now? The craziest thing that's blown my mind is that it costs the same for, say, the three of us go and sit down at a restaurant, right? Not including tip, because it is the same amount to sit down at a restaurant, not super fancy, normal restaurant,
Yeah, normal restaurant. Yeah.
than to go through the drive-through of fast food. It is the same price.
Yeah.
If
Whoa.
like a cheeseburger at McDonald's, right? So I rarely eat like fast food, like here and there. So when I go, like I notice the differences. A cheeseburger was 99 cents, maybe 109,
Yeah, like the value menu
140.
cheeseburger type thing, yeah.
A cheeseburger now is like $2.75. And
Some
I'm
of them are
like,
$3, yeah. You get one with
bro,
like
this is
bacon
supposed to
on
be
it, like,
cheap
yeah.
shit. Like, come on. Like, I could just, like, I could get a Wendy's meal for like $9 now. It's like 9, 10, 11,
Yeah.
12 bucks.
Yeah, honestly, if I go
I
to
can go
Wendy's,
get a
I'm not
pub sub.
getting it. Yeah.
I'm just gonna get a pub sub at this
Absolutely.
place, or I'm just gonna like sit down and have a burger at a burger joint. Like
Subs are low key a move now. Like
subs are a move.
like Wawa had their shit on sale. They were doing like $2 off subs, and I was abusing that shit because I go in there and get stuff for like $6. You get like a 10-inch or whatever it is for like $6. I'm like, dude, yes, absolutely. Now I don't like eating a whole lot of like processed meats. Like you're eating deli meat all the time and like preservatives, nitrates, all that stuff. But I don't know. It's tough being poor. You know, you got to make it work. You got to
So
make it work.
Speaking about eating and trying to stay fit, I guess.
Yeah.
You're ripped. What's going on? What's going
yeah.
besides the yoga? What's your diet looking like?
Well, I am vegan and gluten-free, so I'm real fun at
There you
restaurants.
go.
Oh God.
Eat bean sprouts all the time.
Yeah, don't take me anywhere. But yeah, I practice yoga every day, and I work with a team of online bodybuilding coaches. So I'm not a bodybuilder, but
You have good influences.
I feel like
That's awesome.
I should work out. I mean, I've been athletic my whole life, and yeah, recently I kind of got to a point where I looked in the mirror. I was like, oh, I've not been working out to my standard, so I just kind of like stepped it up. Actually, that was like 3 weeks ago. I was like, I'm going to a festival in a few weeks, and I have some festival outfits to wear, so I'm gonna start lifting weights.
I feel the
So
There you
same.
go.
I
I've
feel
been
the
going
same
hard.
way. I got
Fucking
Hulu in
jacked.
a month, and I gotta like get my shit together.
Yeah.
Month and a half, I gotta get my shit together.
You feel a lot better. You feel a lot better working out. Like, just like recently, like me working out more. Like, I haven't worked out the past 3 days just because working doubles and whatnot. And like tonight, I have to go to the gym tonight. I still have to do it. Like that mentality of like, once you start working out, right?
It's 11 o'clock at night for perspective.
It's 11 o'clock. Yeah. It's once you
do
get
it.
to a point of working out, it's like it's easier to just go to the gym and work for an hour than go to sleep knowing and the next day knowing that like your day, the day is worse because you could have been a better person today. In the sense of like, I could have felt better. My mind could have been better. I would have woken up earlier. I wouldn't have eaten this junk food. I would have
yeah,
like
the junk food. Like
that's the thing. It's
definitely
like if you
motivates
work
to eat
out,
better,
you
know?
don't want to go eat junk food. Like that's, come on. That's like waxing your car and then going and keying it. Like that makes no sense. Like it's like, why would you do that? You work so hard.
It's kind of like that.
Paid $15 to
That's hilarious.
just key it. So that's my point.
Valid point. Valid
Yeah,
point.
lift weights at home.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And then,
that's another thing.
so we got to wrap it up here soon. I mean, we could probably talk all night, but we are curious about kind of what you have coming up. And you know, it's great to see that you're in a good mindset and that you're making music and playing shows. So,
Yeah.
kind of what do you have along those lines coming up right now?
Yeah, so what is today? Monday? On Thursday, I'm flying to California to play Apple Cross Music and Arts Festival.
Oh.
Super excited for that.
That's awesome.
I'm playing on the main stage on Saturday
Wow.
night. I got new tracks, new visuals, just like new stage production.
Sweet.
I'm so excited. Yeah, so when you go to the gym tonight, I'm going to go home to practice my DJ set.
That's equally as important,
Yes.
if not more.
And yeah, and I've been thinking about this too because there are several days over the past few weeks when I didn't feel like practicing. And I was like, I've already got my tracks lined up. I know what I'm going to play. I'm tired. But I noticed that last night when I like pushed through that tiredness and practiced anyway, I felt so much better afterward.
Yeah.
And I was like super pumped. And, you know, I realized the spots where, I need to tighten that up. Or, okay, I realized that my set is 2 minutes longer than my time slot. So I'm going to have to figure
Cut
something
out a song or something.
Yeah. Oh, and
like-
it's so tough after you have everything figured out. It's like I
Curating
can't.
a set.
Yeah, I don't want to like lose the flow, but
Yeah.
I think I know what I'm gonna do. Yeah, so that's coming up this weekend, and then September 28th, I've got my TK debut, my
Hell
first
yeah.
show at TK
Yeah.
Lounge.
Be there for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, awesome! That'll be a fun show. It's house heads versus bass heads, so
That
we're
is
alternating
sick.
styles all night.
That is sick.
Sweet.
Yeah, so that'll be really fun. It'll be cool to see you guys there.
They R34 did an event, I think, because that's a Sonder event, right? Sonder Blue House. R34 did an event there last Wednesday, I think, maybe the Wednesday before, where it was the war on I-4, and they did Orlando versus Tampa artists.
Dang, that's
so
cool.
I love. See, this is what I'm starting to like the creative ideas and kind of doing like these themes. Like, yes, very nice. I'm a fan of all that.
Yeah, I like that. And the emerging scene out here is really
Yeah.
cool.
Tampa's
and
cool. Tampa, we've been dipping way more in the Tampa scene recently, and it's really cool over here.
yeah, there's like good stuff going on.
Oh yeah. Is there anything that you think that you want to see more of the Tampa St. Pete scene, or is there something specifically that you think that you are bringing there that maybe kind of separates you from everybody? Hard-hitting questions.
I think that some of my my original music is a little bit different from what I've been hearing other people play. Yeah, I guess my style is kind of, I'm starting to find myself now. I have some releases coming up. My first release with Some R&R is going to be early October.
Nice.
And then I have an EP with them slated for later this year. Which, yeah, I think that'll kind of, that'll be a good representation of how my style is shaping up. I also have a track coming out on September 27th that I'm self-releasing.
Wow.
It's called Kage Bunshin. It's it's like almost funk house, but maybe more electro house.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. I want to go in on the production for that. I want to make like some videos and stuff.
Sweet.
Yes.
Because that's like everything with if you're self-releasing music, you have to like make the content for it, and I want to take that seriously.
Yeah.
You know, even if I have to sigh about it.
It's
You have to take
grueling.
yourself seriously, but you have to also like let it go a little bit too. Like you have to just like upload some stuff. We were just talking about this with Avello at the interview with KST last night, or it wasn't last night. It was like 2 nights ago. But Avello was saying like just get past all basically the bullshit in your head. Like you gotta just post it if you're gonna. Even if you think you look ridiculous. Like, you just got to post it.
Send it.
Don't worry about it. And then keep being consistent on it. And eventually one of those videos can change your life. So.
Yeah, I need to hear that. Yeah, consistency is so hard.
It is. Consistency
Oh, God.
is
It's consistency in the industry.
That's why we did the podcast. Because we're trying to beat the consistency thing. Like, we're trying to, we're uploading this once a week. We have a video that we put on Instagram from this once a week, usually, at least. So
Trying to put people on that.
we
think are, yo, this person's the shit.
Yeah.
Because it's so hard. Like, we realized that nobody was really putting us on for a long time. And until we met, the right people and
St. Pete was big for us on that.
Yeah. Which we've mentioned in different videos. So we're like, bro, like, we love talking to people, love picking people's brains. Let's put those people on who deserved to be put on because nobody else is doing it. Nobody else is... Like, I mean, as you probably realize, like, Florida in general is a very cutthroat place.
Yeah, very by nature competitive and like disassociative. Like people don't really they support, but it's for their own advantage, like their own advantage. So we're trying to cut through that noise. Speaking of the St. Pete people, we got to get a lot of those people that put us on this podcast.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, we've been waiting to put them on, but we've also been dreading it because we know that the scheduling is going to be ass. Everyone is so busy right now.
Yeah.
And like we're going into October, like this is September, obviously. September gets busy. We're going into October and November for some reason.
God,
it's just
have
like
always been
insane. Just insane. And then like December, things kind of drop off because it gets cold and everyone's doing holiday stuff. So I don't know. These next 2 months, hopefully we can get a good amount of our St. Pete people behind the camera, on this couch, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. It was very good to have you, though.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for
coming out. One of the newer St. Pete artists. Are you St. Pete or Tampa?
What do you rep?
What do you rep?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Chicago.
Yeah. I've been saying St. Pete. Technically, I live in Sefner, which a lot of people hear. Yeah, exactly. Everyone's like, where? It's the village hidden in the trailers.
I feel that.
I'm a big Naruto fan, and I feel like if Sefner was a village, that's what it would be. The village hidden in the trailers.
Oh, true. That's a Naruto reference. I didn't even get that.
Yeah, so
right.
But it's not too far away from here. It's
okay. But it's in
like
Tampa, though?
It's like...
It's all Tampa.
It's all Tampa. It's just north of Brandon. So it's kind of like just on the other side of the Hard Rock from here.
Okay.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Kind of Tampa.
Yeah, no man's
land. When I drive home from St. Pete, the Hard Rock glowing in the distance, that's like my beacon of like, I'm almost home.
Do you see it? It's calling us.
Yeah. The Hard Rock.
Oh, God, the Hard Rock. That place.
Yeah. I saw MNX there, MNX and GC there recently. They threw down
at the
L Bar after they were doing the Subtronics after.
Oh, sick.
They played right after Subtronics because he did the pool deck and then everyone came inside.
Nice.
Pretty dope. But anyways, thank you so much, Hexadevi. Christina, really appreciate it being on here. Episode 8 of the final mix. We'll catch you next week. Thank you so much.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Thank you
Awesome,
guys.
awesome.
Oh, that was fun.